They've been watching you for a while now, trying to figure out how you keep shining when they've thrown shade. They've been trying to imitate your flow, copy your style, mirror your moves. But no matter what they do, no matter how closely they study you, they still come up short. They still look out of place. They still look goofy, trying to match what was never theirs to begin with. Your energy was never built from trends. It was forged in storms. It's the kind of frequency you can't fake, can't buy, can't rehearse. And now the gap between you and those trying to match you is so obvious, it's almost laughable. If this message has found you, it's not random. Watch this video until the very end, because somewhere in these words, you'll feel your own confirmation. And when that moment hits, pause and drop your most heartfelt wish in the comments, followed by 777, to send that energy into the universe and anchor it in your life. Subscribe to this channel so you never miss a message meant to find you right on time. Together, we're building something bigger than words, a space where energy is understood, protected, and amplified. You see, what they don't understand is that your energy isn't a mask you wear when it's convenient. It's who you are. It's the byproduct of every choice you made to keep going when quitting was easier. It's the reflection of every battle you fought in silence. It's the light you still carry after walking through darkness that would have swallowed most people whole. They can't match that because they've never walked that. They want the results without the process, the shine without the shadows, the crown without the weight. And it shows. Every time they try to stand next to you, the contrast is undeniable. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. And alignment can't be duplicated by someone still living out of ego. They're out here mimicking the surface, but your power lives in the roots. They can copy your words, your clothes, your moves, but they can't touch the foundation that holds you up. Because your foundation isn't built on what people see. It's built on what only you and the universe know. Every scar, every sleepless night, every moment you chose growth over comfort, that's your blueprint. That's why they look awkward trying to walk in shoes they never earned. It's not their size, not their fit, not their path. And every time they try, the universe makes sure it's clear. This is not theirs. And here's the thing. You're not even competing with them. You don't have to. You're not trying to keep them from catching up. You're just moving at your own speed, following your own rhythm. And because of that, they keep tripping over themselves. When you're in sync with your purpose, everything about you flows naturally. Your ideas, your presence, your timing, it all comes from a place they can't access because they haven't done the inner work to unlock it. That's why they're always a few steps behind, no matter how much they try to match your stride. You've probably noticed how much energy they spend watching you. It's almost like you became their silent teacher without even trying. They study your moves, hoping to find the secret formula, but they're missing the main ingredient: you. The way you speak, the way you walk into a room, the way you sit in silence yet still command attention, that's not something you can download or replicate. That's earned energy. And when earned energy meets an unprepared vessel, it's always going to look forced. They think it's about style, but it's about spirit. They think it's about attention, but it's about authenticity. They think it's about speed, but it's about stamina. They've been running sprints while you've been building a marathon, and the longer the race goes, the clearer the difference becomes. You're not slowing down, and they can't keep up without burning themselves out. That's why lately they look drained trying to play your game. It's not their field, and deep down, they know it. So keep moving the way you've been moving. Keep showing up without forcing. Keep speaking without shouting. Keep leading without needing the title. Because your energy was never meant to be a trend. It was meant to be a torch. And while they're busy trying to look like they're carrying the flame, the truth is, they're chasing the light you've been generating from within all along. They keep thinking if they just get the right look, say the right words, or copy the right moves, they'll finally be on your level. But they don't understand. Your level isn't a position, it's a vibration. And vibrations can't be bought, borrowed, or stolen. They have to be earned through every choice, every sacrifice, every moment of discipline you chose when no one was watching. That's why they look uncomfortable trying to wear what you wear or speak how you speak. It's not that the style is wrong, it's that the spirit behind it doesn't match. You've walked through things they've only heard about in stories. You've learned lessons that no motivational speech or social media trend could ever teach. Your glow wasn't built overnight. It was shaped over years of falling, getting back up, and deciding you'd rather be authentic in obscurity than fake in the spotlight. They can't imitate that because they haven't lived it. And when someone tries to wear an identity that's not theirs, it's always obvious. They don't get that energy is not about being loud, flashy, or always seen. True energy is felt before it's heard. It walks in the room before you do. It lingers after you leave. It doesn't just come from confidence, it comes from clarity. And clarity only comes from doing the deep work inside yourself, the kind most people avoid. You've faced your fears, sat in your solitude, confronted your flaws. That's why you move the way you do now, smooth, steady, unbothered. And that's why they look clumsy trying to keep pace. They haven't done the same internal building. Sometimes you'll notice them watching for cues, what you post, what you wear, who you connect with, hoping to mirror it and get the same response. But it never hits the same. Because when you're aligned, the world can feel it. And when you're pretending, the world can feel that too. You can't fake frequency, and your frequency has been tuned to a wavelength they don't even know exists yet. That's why they keep showing up in mismatched energy, trying to sprint in a marathon they never trained for. And the funniest part? You're not even trying to compete with them. You're not watching their every move. You're not obsessing over their strategy. You're too busy minding your own lane, refining your own craft, listening to your own inner guidance. That's the real reason they can't catch up. You're not playing the same game. You've been building a foundation while they've been chasing appearances. And when life tests both of you, the difference becomes impossible to hide. See, your energy has layers. It's not just confidence, it's resilience. It's not just presence, it's purpose. It's not just movement, it's mastery. Every time you show up, you're bringing the lessons, the battles, the healing, the victories that got you here. They can try to match the look, but they can't match the history. And that's what makes you untouchable. So let them keep trying. Let them keep studying. Let them think they're getting closer. Because while they're busy rehearsing, you're busy living. And there's no script in the world that can teach someone how to be you. The harder they try to keep up, the more obvious it becomes. They're forcing something that flows naturally for you. You don't wake up wondering how to look powerful or act confident. You just move in alignment with who you are, and the energy follows. But they rehearse it. They study you like a script, hoping if they memorize enough lines, they'll somehow become the character. But what they forget is, you're not playing a role. You're living the truth. And truth will always outshine performance. You've probably seen it in their eyes, the way they glance at you when you speak, trying to catch the rhythm of your words, the way they imitate your body language, thinking it's the secret to your presence, the way they try to replicate your timing, your tone, your flow. But energy doesn't come from mimicry. It comes from mastery. And mastery can't be rushed. It's earned through the quiet hours, the lonely nights, the moments of doubt you pushed through when no one else believed in you. Every move you make has a reason behind it, a history woven into it. They're copying the what without ever understanding the why. And that's why it falls flat every time. Because people don't just respond to what you do, they respond to the energy that fuels it. When you walk into a room, you're carrying years of growth, battles, and breakthroughs in your stride. They're carrying the weight of trying to keep up, and it shows. It's not even that you're trying to make them look foolish. You don't have to. The contrast between authenticity and imitation will always reveal itself. You could stand silently in the corner and still outshine their loudest attempts. Why? Because your energy doesn't depend on attention. It creates attention. And when someone is trying to force attention without having the energy to back it up, it feels empty, like a stage with all the lights on but no story being told. And here's what they'll never admit. Deep down, they admire you. They wish they could move the way you do, with that unshakable calm, that effortless magnetism. They'll never say it out loud, but their actions betray them. Every time they adjust themselves after watching you, every time they tweak their approach to mirror yours, they're revealing that you're the standard they measure themselves against. But here's the thing. They can never be you, because they've never lived you. You didn't get here by skipping steps. You didn't bypass the pain, the losses, the lessons. And that's why your energy feels whole. It's not a costume, it's your core. It doesn't come off when the camera's off. It doesn't fade when you're alone. It's steady, consistent, present. They're chasing an image. You're embodying a reality. That's the difference. And that's why they keep looking goofy. They're chasing something that can't be caught, only cultivated. So you keep doing what you've been doing. Keep moving in truth. Keep letting your energy speak louder than your words. Because every time they try to match you, they're just reminding everyone, including themselves, of the one thing they can't fake, the fact that you're the original. The more they try to step into your lane, the more out of place they look, because your lane was never meant for them. It wasn't built overnight, and it wasn't built in comfort. It was carved through challenges, through moments where you had to rely on faith, through times when you were left with nothing but your will to keep going. That path is why your energy feels so natural now. It's yours. And that's exactly why it looks so unnatural on them. They're wearing a suit tailored for someone else, and everyone can see it doesn't fit. See, you didn't just stumble upon this presence. You shaped it, you fought for it, you sacrificed for it. That's why it sits on you so effortlessly. You're not carrying the weight of pretending. You're carrying the wisdom of becoming. And becoming takes time. They're skipping steps, trying to leap straight into the reward without ever earning the resilience that makes it possible to hold. It's like watching someone try to wear a crown without the neck strength to carry it. It wobbles, it slips, and eventually, it falls. Every time they attempt to match you, they reveal something they can't hide. They're watching you more than they're watching themselves. They're letting your rhythm dictate their steps, your shine dictate their presentation, your choices dictate their next move. But here's the thing, they're always reacting. You're leading, and a leader doesn't chase. They set the pace. That's why no matter how close they think they are, they're still behind. You operate from alignment, which means your energy comes without strain. When you move, it's because you're guided, not pressured. When you speak, it's because you have something real to say, not because you're afraid of being forgotten. That's the quiet confidence they can't fake. And that's why when they try to perform it, it always feels exaggerated, too loud, too forced, too empty. People can sense the difference between someone who is and someone who's pretending to be. And lately, the difference has been blinding. You walk in and the atmosphere shifts, naturally. They walk in after you, trying to replicate the effect, and the energy falls flat. It's not that they don't want it bad enough. It's that they don't understand it's not about wanting. It's about becoming. And becoming requires walking through fires they've spent their lives avoiding. The irony is, while they're so busy trying to match your glow, they're missing their own. They're ignoring the truth that the only way to have real presence is to build it from the inside out. But ego won't let them admit that. Ego wants the shortcut. Ego wants the crown without the weight, the applause without the effort. And as long as they operate from that space, they'll keep looking like shadows chasing light. And here's the part they'll never be able to copy. You don't need the spotlight to shine. Your energy doesn't demand attention. It commands it. That's the difference between a flame and a sparkler. A flame will burn steadily whether anyone's watching or not. A sparkler burns bright for a moment, then fizzles into nothing. They can light up for a second, but you've built something that will outlast every attempt to dim it. So let them keep trying. Let them keep putting on the show. Because in the end, energy doesn't lie. And every time they try to match yours, the truth becomes clearer. You're the source, and they're just chasing reflections. What they don't realize is that your energy has stopped being just a vibe. It's become a shield. It protects you from what doesn't serve you and draws in exactly what's meant for you. You didn't set out to build it this way, but every challenge you survived, every betrayal you rose above, every dark season you endured added another layer to that shield. Now it's not just something people notice, it's something they feel. And it's the very thing that keeps you unshaken while they scramble to imitate you. You've probably noticed how people who don't align with your spirit can't seem to stick around for long. It's not because you push them away, it's because your energy rejects what isn't genuine. They might step into your space trying to mirror your light, but if it's not real, they burn out quickly. Your presence demands authenticity, and for someone who's built their entire persona on mimicry, that's exhausting. They can play the role for a while, but eventually the mask starts to slip, and the difference between you and them becomes impossible to hide. That's why they look the way they do, constantly adjusting, constantly checking, constantly wondering if they're doing it right. You, on the other hand, aren't doing energy at all. You're simply being. And there's a peace in that, a stillness, a confidence that doesn't need constant validation because you already know who you are. That's the part that drives them crazy. Your glow doesn't flicker when they try to dim it. And here's the thing about your presence. It's not loud unless it needs to be. It's not about dominating every room. It's about owning your space so completely that no one can take it from you. People feel that. They may not always understand it, but they respect it. Even the ones trying to copy you can't deny it. Deep down, they know they're chasing something they'll never fully grasp, because they're only seeing the surface while you're living the source. The more they try to match your energy, the more your energy evolves. You're not standing still waiting for them to catch up. You're constantly growing, constantly elevating. By the time they think they've mastered your last move, you've already stepped into a whole new level. It's like trying to chase the wind. You can see where it's been, but you can't pin it down. That's why they always seem a step behind, looking awkward in your shadow. And the truth is, this isn't even about competition for you. You're not in a race. You're not checking the scoreboard. You're not looking over your shoulder. You're simply following the path that was meant for you, and the light you carry just happens to expose those who are pretending. They feel that exposure like heat, and it makes them work even harder to keep up. But the harder they try, the more obvious the gap becomes. Your energy has become a language, and only those who have walked their own path can truly speak it. That's why people who are authentic in their own right resonate with you instantly. They recognize the journey in your eyes, the wisdom in your words, the truth in your presence. The imitators, though, only hear noise. They don't understand the depth, so they copy the surface, and in doing so, they make themselves look even more out of place. So while they keep trying to match your rhythm, you're composing an entirely new song. While they're studying the last chapter, you're already living the next one. And that's why no matter how hard they work to mirror your moves, they'll always end up looking like they're wearing a costume to a life they've never lived. What they don't realize is that every attempt to copy you comes with a cost, and the cost is their own energy. See, you're moving from a place of overflow. You've built your light on a foundation that can sustain it. Your growth wasn't rushed, it was rooted. You've been through seasons that taught you how to generate your own power, no matter the environment. That's why your presence never feels drained. It renews itself from within. They, on the other hand, are constantly in performance mode, and performance without authenticity is exhausting. Every time they try to match you, they have to pull energy from somewhere else, because it's not naturally flowing through them. That's why they look more tired, more desperate, more strained the longer they try to keep up. You've probably noticed it. The subtle cracks in their demeanor, the slip-ups in their act, the way their smiles don't quite reach their eyes anymore. While they're busy studying your every move, you're not even thinking about them. You're focused on your purpose, your goals, your next level. And because your attention is on creation, not imitation, your energy multiplies instead of depletes. That's the biggest difference. Your life is fueled by expansion, theirs by comparison. And comparison is a game no one ever truly wins. They don't understand that real energy isn't just about how you carry yourself in public, it's about how you recharge in private. You've built habits, disciplines, and a mindset that protect your inner world. They're too busy putting on a show to tend to theirs, and it's starting to show. The more they try to project strength, the more obvious their weakness becomes. And deep down, they know it. But here's the twist. Your strength isn't loud for the sake of being loud. It's steady. And steady energy always outlasts bursts of imitation. You're not just showing up in moments, you're present in seasons. You've been here, you'll still be here, and that consistency is something they can't fake. That's why, even when they think they've matched you, they're shocked to see you still moving forward, untouched by their presence, unbothered by their attempts. It's almost ironic. While they're trying to mirror your energy to impress others, the very act of doing so is draining them of the authenticity they need to build their own. Meanwhile, you're growing stronger, sharper, more focused. You've learned how to turn pressure into fuel, and they're still trying to turn imitation into identity. One is sustainable, the other is self-destructive. Eventually, this constant chase will catch up to them. The cracks will widen, the mask will grow heavy, and the truth will be impossible to hide. And when that happens, you won't need to say a word. The difference between you and them will speak for itself. You'll still be standing, still glowing, still moving in alignment. They'll be left wondering how you stayed so untouchable, and the answer will be the same as it's always been. You weren't competing, you were simply being. And that's the real reason they can't match your energy. Because it's not a performance for you, it's a lifestyle. And a lifestyle built on truth will always outlast one built on imitation. What started as something you built for survival has now become something that inspires transformation in others. Your energy isn't just your shield anymore, it's a light that others are using to find their own path. People who have never met you in person feel it through your words, your actions, your presence. They're not trying to copy you, they're learning from you. And that's the difference between those who are inspired and those who are threatened. The inspired ones see your journey and think, if they can rise, so can I. They're not looking to steal your shine, they're using it to ignite their own. You've unknowingly become a mirror that reflects back to them what they've always had inside, but were too afraid to claim. This is why your influence feels so natural, because it's not about control, it's about permission. You're giving people permission to be their true selves, to stop hiding, to step into their own light. Meanwhile, the ones still trying to match you are finding it harder than ever. Not because your energy has become more complicated, but because it's become more pure. You've stripped away the need to prove anything. You've stopped trying to fit where you don't belong. You've learned the value of saying no, of walking away, of protecting your peace at all costs. And that level of clarity is something imitation can never produce. Your energy has reached a point where it no longer just reacts to the world. It shapes the world around it. Rooms feel different when you enter. Conversations shift when you speak. Even in silence, you hold weight. And people can't fake that, no matter how hard they try. It's the product of walking your own path, of staying true when it would have been easier to fold, of choosing growth over comfort time and time again. The truth is, your life now carries a frequency, and frequencies don't lie. People either resonate with it or they don't. The ones who do feel more alive around you, they leave conversations with you feeling lighter, more focused, more ready to take action. The ones who don't? They feel exposed, uncomfortable, even irritated. Not because you've done anything to harm them, but because your authenticity forces them to confront the lack of it in themselves. And here's where it gets powerful. Your glow now acts as a filter. It draws in the right people and repels the wrong ones without you having to lift a finger. You no longer have to question who's for you and who's against you. The energy exchange reveals it instantly. That's why your circle has become smaller, but also stronger. You're surrounded by people who want to see you win, not because they can gain from your success, but because they genuinely love your spirit. This is the point where imitation becomes completely irrelevant to you. You're not even aware of it most days. You're too busy living, creating, giving, and receiving in alignment. And when you live like that, you stop worrying about who's watching or copying, because you know there's nothing they can take from you. You are the source, and no one can duplicate the source. Your journey has brought you to a place where your energy no longer just belongs to you. It's part of something bigger. It's a movement, a ripple effect, a call for others to rise. And as long as you keep walking in your truth, that ripple will keep expanding, touching lives you may never even realize you've impacted. At this point, you've outgrown the need to defend your position, to prove your worth, or to explain your glow. You've learned that the loudest statements are made in silence, and the deepest victories are won without an audience. Your life itself has become the evidence, the way you've risen, the way you've stayed true, the way you've moved with grace even when the world tried to throw you off course. They'll keep trying, chosen one. They'll keep adjusting, rebranding, and reinventing themselves in an endless attempt to capture what you carry naturally. But the truth is, they're chasing a moving target, because every time you evolve, their blueprint becomes outdated. You're not the same person you were yesterday, and you won't be the same tomorrow. That's the beauty of living in alignment. You are in constant motion, always expanding, always becoming more. And here's the most important part. They can't take your essence because it was never theirs to hold. Your energy is tied to your journey, your scars, your triumphs, and your unwavering faith in your path. No shortcut, no imitation, no performance can replicate that. What they're really chasing is the peace you've built within yourself, the freedom that comes from knowing you are exactly where you're meant to be. So let them watch, let them talk, let them look goofy trying to match something they'll never fully understand. Because while they're busy studying your light, you're out here living, loving, creating, and impacting in ways they can't even see. And the truth is, you're not here to be matched. You're here to be unmatched. You are the standard. You are the reminder that real energy can't be faked, and that authenticity will always outlast imitation. This is your season, chosen one. Walk boldly, glow unapologetically, and keep moving, because the world needs what only you can give.